So the book is in companion with the mixtape.
Yeah, yeah. The book, The Truth You Can't Betray, is basically about my life on how I came into the entertainment business at 8 years old. A lot of people don't know that I started off as an R&B and hip hop dancer. You know, I had the privilege of coming to New York City, winning Apollo 8 times in a row. Got pictures with me and Big Daddy Kane holding up cash. You know what I'm saying? When I was 8 from winning, and like it touches on through the years. You know what I'm saying? As I continued to dance, my parents, they wanted to snatch it away from me because they wanted me to focus on education. So I kind of like looked to the streets for answers, which was the wrong thing to do. So I got involved in all this negativity and things like that. But at the same time, I always had a dream in the back of my head of wanting to be in the entertainment business, whether it was dancing, acting, or doing music, which is, you know, hip hop.
Yeah. And so, but it's interesting. Like you go to the streets looking for answers.
Yeah.
And then with The Wire, you know, when they're casting people, they want the authentic appeal. People who
Right.
actually did that. So the irony is like, you know, the streets pulled you away from entertainment, but then the streets actually got you back.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny in a way because, like, when I remember when I first auditioned for The Wire, that was my first audition ever in 2001 of October. And when I went to read, you know, it was a lot of the dialogue that they had gave me. I could really relate to it because, like I said, I was, you know, involved in all the crazy type things that went on in the streets. I'm from D.C., you know what I'm saying? Fordsville, Maryland, D.C., it's all the same. And the type of things that I was involved in, which was the negativity, when I got the script to read for a character, it kind of like, you know, I related to it in that type of sense. So that point that you mentioned about the streets, as far as The Wire being a huge show, bringing me back in the limelight or whatever, is definitely like a true statement.
Yeah. And so tell me a little bit about the book. What's sort of like a story in that book that is an example of, you know, some of the things that you went through and kind of helped you become who you are now?
Well, I mean, the book is really, it's about, you know, trying to help these young people as well as adults to strive for their dream and don't get sucked into the negativity, because the negativity can lead you down the wrong path, which is either being dead or locked up in jail. You know, so it's like the book, the message is to just follow your dream and continue to try to strive to be a leader rather than a follower. You know what I'm saying? So The Truth You Can't Betray, man, I picked the title because everything that I wrote about in the book, in association with a good friend of mine, Yolanda D. Coleman, you know, everything that I wrote about in the book, it's really my real life that took place. So the truth you can't betray, everything is the truth, and I can't turn my back on it, which is betrayed. So it's really, you know, motivational too, and there's actually no cursing in the book whatsoever, you know, because I didn't want the young people, you know, to feel as though the character that they see is being portrayed on The Wire is this guy, Chaney, you know what I'm saying, because it's two totally different type of people. So, you know, it's an inspirational tool, man, and I'm just honored to be able to present it, and, you know, it's available on Amazon.com, and it's not in those stores yet because I strictly wanted to go straight towards the internet because, you know, that's like the new wave of everything right now. So it's available on Amazon.com. I'm talking to a couple of publishers right now as we speak to, you know, see the possibilities of maybe getting it in a couple of stores.
What's I guess, can you give us a summary of like a tale in the story, or like a summary of like what one of the chapters is?
One of the chapters is you know, when my life imitated a real life situation that occurred on The Wire, and this was like a situation, you know what I'm saying, where I can't, because the book is now set up as chapters, it's set up as seasons, and in each season it's like 5 episodes, and then you got commercial breaks. So it's like I wanted to go towards a more creative side of just writing the book in itself. But one of the, you know, seasons or whatever, it touches on with me and a good friend of mine. I'm not gonna mention his name, but we kind of like got into an altercation. You know, the beef thing. You know, DC and Maryland. You know what I'm saying? All the beef stuff that went on in the area. We got into an altercation with this guy, and I had just actually left the set from The Wire, you know, portraying this bad character that was that had a scene where I had to beat somebody up. You know what I'm saying? And then like I could remember going back home, and it was sort of like a reenactment of that scene, but it was in real life. You know, somebody had beef with my cousin, and me and my friend decided that we were going to just go beyond, above and beyond, and handle it. And when we handled it, you know, when we had to handle it, we had to suffer the consequences of, you know, my vehicle being shot up, my house almost being blown up. You know, but at the same time, without like getting into too much detail, it was just a fact of, you know, my real life was really what I was portraying on the show, until I decided to go ahead and just say, you know what, this stuff is really not for me. You know, I got a dream on becoming an entertainer, and this is what I want to do.
Dope. And let's talk about some the show and the
yeah.
If you can put that down.
Okay.
So you mentioned the Wire obviously is what people affiliate you with most right now, and it's always that way. But I imagine right now, because it's in syndication, it's almost like the show is probably new all over again to a lot of people.
It's crazy, man, because the show, you know, we're actually syndicated on DirecTV 101 network. It comes on every Sunday at the same time, you know, 10 o'clock.
Right.
And, you know, like, we got a whole new fan base. I mean, they actually picked up all 5 seasons. So the fans get to, you know, the people that haven't seen it get to go towards the streets, the politics, when the kids was in school, to the docks. And, you know, it's just like a groundbreaking show that I was definitely, like, grateful to be a part of. You know, it really, it created my whole career, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man, it's one of those shows, I think people related to it so much because of the reality. You know, not just what was going on in Baltimore City, but what was going on around the world. You know, people can relate to it all over.
What was it like at the time? Like, I'm sure with all great things or historic things, when you're in the moment, you don't really realize how big it is. What was it like, you know, on a day-to-day basis when you were putting the show together? Did you sort of have any indication like this is something special, or was it just like, man, this is fresh and it's just really cool to be a part of something so real?
Well, we knew it was something special, but we didn't know what it was going to be today, which is, I mean, it's people calling the show like the #1 show that ever hit, not just HBO, but television, period. You know, and when you ask, you know, I mean, different races, you know what I'm saying? You ask them different races, like, what's your favorite show? And they're saying The Wire. It's like, being in the moment, nobody really knew, because this was just, you know, it was a job. But then The Wire is kind of like, it's a part of my life. You know what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't for that show, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to do these interviews. I wouldn't be able to, you know, go and conquer like other endeavors that I have as far as like music and being an author. You know, so I mean, just being a part of the show, man, it's like, I didn't realize that it was going to be as big as it is today. I mean, it seems like it's bigger today than it ever was because of the whole syndication. And then you got all these new fans from all over saying, hey, I just started watching the first season. I just seen when you shot Wallace. And it's like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? But you still have to give them their just due, because it's their first time. And you remember, like, your first time when you first watched it. Right. It was like, yo, this is going to be something huge. Yeah. So it was sort of like in a moment of knowing it might be big, but we just didn't know. But now we all know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What's it like to be recognized, man? Because it's a show that's embraced by, like you said, like, not only all races, but like, you know, Busta Rhymes can recognize you. Yeah. I'm sure mass, especially like rappers, they see you and it's like, oh, that's son from the show. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's crazy for me, man, because like, especially other entertainers in this business that I'm a fan of, like you said, Busta Rhymes. I was like starstruck, but at the same time, this guy's like, yo, I love The Wire, and you know, it's just a real moment. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can't do nothing but thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, yo, somebody really respects what I do as an actor or whatever type of field of work that I'm in the entertainment business, and I respect them as well. So I mean, just being recognized, man, it's just a great feeling. You know, I would be lying if I said I didn't feel great about it.